Need to travel from Edmonton to Calgary? With the emerging hyperloop technology being developed by Canadian-based TransPod, the journey could soon take roughly 45 minutes without having to set foot on an airplane or burn fossil fuels. Well, a new super speedy plane-train hybrid called FluxJet could become available within the next few years. It aims to travel over 600 miles per hour, a bit faster than the average commercial plane, and around 3 times quicker than most high-speed trains. Hello, and welcome back to our channel Future Planet. In today's video, we will discuss everything about Canada's fully electric tube train that travels at 600 miles per hour. Before we continue, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, Future Planet, for more amazing videos just like this one. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Canadian startup TransPod recently unveiled a hybrid between a train and a plane that could change the transportation industry as we know it. The full electric FluxJet can travel at speeds of more than 621 miles per hour. Described as an industry-defining innovation, FluxJet is an all-electric vehicle based on a new field of physics that the company calls Vaillance Flux. It defined a way to represent the amount of information available from one or more cameras pointing in various directions at a complex scene. Essentially, the cameras are being used to guide the trains in the tube system. Moreover, this technology also includes contactless power transmission and aerodynamic and propulsion systems to reduce friction. Essentially, a vacuum tube is installed, with magnetically levitated pods traveling faster than trains, cars, and jets can. TransPod is the firm behind the project, and the hybrid vehicle will travel along its dedicated tube system across Canada, known as the TransPod line. According to the press release, it will operate exclusively on the TransPod line network that will connect major cities of Canada. In fact, the startup claims that it will cut down travel time compared to the traditional trains. This hybrid vehicle will also reduce carbon dioxide emissions and prove to be more cost-effective than traveling by air. The FluxJet ride will reportedly cost about 44% less than a plane ticket and reduce CO2 emissions by about 636,000 tons per year. TransPod recently received $550 million in financing and has already started preliminary construction on a tube that'll transport people from Calgary to Edmonton in 45 minutes. It'll take almost a third of the traffic off the highway, joining Calgary to Edmonton. The technology sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi novel, including its speed capabilities. According to TransPod, the FluxJet will carry up to 54 passengers and 10 tons of cargo at a time. A 186-mile trip that would typically take 3 hours to drive would only take 45 minutes at that rate. The TransPod FluxJet seems to be using linear induction motors, which are fully electric and pull power from the grid, along with magnetic levitation. The 82-foot-long trains will travel along vacuum tubes where they'll be free to blast ahead without drag and free of friction. Sounds amazing, right? Make sure to stay with us till the end. Well, this vision bears similarities to Virgin's hyperloop, which is set to roll out in 2030. Hyperloop is a proposed method of travel that would transport people at roughly 700 miles per hour between distant locations. It was first unveiled by Elon Musk in 2013, who at the time said it could take passengers the 380 miles from LA to San Francisco in 30 minutes. Half the time it takes a plane to cover the same distance. It is essentially a long tube that has had the air removed to create a vacuum. For safety reasons, Hyperloop tunnels need escape hatches in case of fire. The tube is suspended off the grid to protect against weather and earthquakes. According to a feasibility study released by TransPod, the system will carry passengers and cargo faster than 600 miles per hour, much faster than a high-speed train. And unlike many forms of high-speed transit, TransPod would offer relatively affordable tickets. A trip between the two cities would cost around $90. The electric system is built on a proprietary design that leverages aerospace engineering. The company is developing this technology with a high safety standard in collaboration with the European Union and United States Transportation Departments. The TransPod vehicle's top speed is similar to a jet but travels at ground level in a protected guideway. Furthermore, FluxJet comes at a time when the world is continuously launching high-speed bullet trains. China in particular has been in the limelight for launching bullet-speed trains. Most recently, a train that takes you to Beijing from Shanghai in just 4 hours. However, if speed is considered, Chinese superspeed trains are still miles behind the FluxJet. The project is said to create up to 140,000 jobs and will add $19.2 billion to the region's GDP throughout construction. This milestone is a major leap forward. The FluxJet is at a nexus of scientific research, industrial development, and massive infrastructure to address passengers' needs and reduce dependence on fossil fuel-heavy jets and highways. The company also recently presented a scaled-down FluxJet at an event in Toronto to showcase its flight capabilities. The demo model executed a takeoff and landing procedure within its guideway. And you know what? The company plans to build a groundbreaking network system called the TransPod line, which will connect the cities of Calgary and Edmonton in Alberta, Canada. It claims to be different from other vacuum tube trains because it's based on a smart infrastructure that significantly reduces operation and maintenance costs. The company says it wants to begin construction on its inner-city FluxJet line by 2027. TransPod also states that the project's first phase will ultimately cost $18 billion, which means it'll need to raise a lot more money between now and then, whether from private investors, government funding, or both. Moreover, Sebastian Gendron, co-founder and CEO of TransPod Inc., believes the system could generate massive economic benefits for Alberta's struggling economy by creating a new high-tech industry ripe for export. While TransPod is not the first to envision a hyperloop system, they are attempting to revolutionize the idea by solving one of its biggest problems: the cost. The main challenge faced by previous vacuum tube transportation systems was the staggering cost of maglev technology, which uses the repulsion force of superconducting magnets on the track to levitate the train cars. Instead, Gendron and his team will use the attraction force generated by magnetic engines on the vehicle to achieve this. The feasibility report estimates the entire system could be built for $22.4 billion. And to make it turn a profit, Gendron and his team found another way to stretch dollars and make the project more appealing to investors. Gendron said there is a massive opportunity for DHL, FedEx, Amazon, and others to reduce the carbon footprint of their trucks and planes by shipping on the TransPod system. The team's research shows that, initially, 60% of the system's traffic would be freight rather than people. But before anything is put on TransPod's autonomous vehicles, the team is planning to build a test track to Edmonton's airport. And once the 20-kilometer system receives all authorizations by officials, it will be connected and used by the public. On top of that, Gendron said the team expects to secure funding for the test track sometime this year, and is already in discussions to fund the full system. The test track would take 2 years to build and could have passengers by 2027. Gendron said, "Our objective is to contribute to the province's diversification. We want to contribute to the transformation of the existing economy into something greener. We want this project to be as inclusive as possible, and we are starting to approach First Nations to see how they can benefit." Currently, Gendron and his team are working on building 1/4 scale vehicles and track portions to demonstrate the technology. His team is also closely watching the European Union's efforts to regulate hyperloop systems, which would give Canada a regulatory framework potentially by 2025. Gendron tells CNN that his team estimates FluxJet will be transporting its first public transport passengers before 2035. And as for plans beyond Calgary, Edmonton, he says that discussions are already happening in Texas to connect Dallas to San Antonio, in the UAE to connect Dubai to Abu Dhabi, and in Australia to connect Sydney to Brisbane. So, with that, our video has come to an end here. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We always love to read out your comments. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel, Future Planet, and hit the bell icon so you will be notified whenever we upload a video. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, goodbye.